Hello everybody, my name is Robbie Johnson and this is my first video on cooking. I've never done this before, so I'm going to give this a shot. I hope you like it. Today, in preparation for Thanksgiving tomorrow, I am going to make lumpia. This is something I learned quite some time ago, and I'm going to give it a shot for you guys today, and you try it and tell me what you think. So to start, I have a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, of soy sauce. I have 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, all mixed together. I have a half cup of cabbage, a half cup of carrots, a half cup of onion, and 3 garlic cloves, all chopped up very finely so they can make it through the tip of my little manufactured piping or icing piper. And also I have 1 pound of ground pork and 30 sheets of lumpia wrappers. Most are pre-peeled, but I will peel a few here in a few moments. But to get started, I will go ahead and start mixing everything. It's quite simple. So we take it and we mix it all in together. Mix it really good until it all comes together. Okay, now that I got it all mixed up, we're going to shovel this stuff into a piping bag, and we're going to squeeze it into the lumpia wrappers and roll them up and get them prepared. So to start, I managed to peel all of them with the exception of a few that I just want to show. So these come frozen. You definitely don't want to try to peel these while they're frozen because you will fail. So I tend to let these sit in the refrigerator, let them thaw. Take them out about 10-15 minutes prior to peeling so they get slightly to room temperature, still cold but slightly, and it allows them to peel easier. Once they're dry, if you let them sit too long and out in the open and they're dry, they become brittle and they're too hard to peel, or they just crack on you and break. So once I'm done peeling them, what I typically do is I'll put a paper towel, wet paper towel over the top just to keep them moist while I pipe 30 of them, pipe the filling into 30 of them, so I tend to keep that paper towel on there to keep them moist. So, but I would tell you, in my time of doing these, there are plenty of times where I've ripped the wrappers, ripped them pretty bad, but most of the time you can just take them even if you rip them and they're still usable because much of it will be covered when it's rolled. So if you do happen to rip them, that's okay. Just keep going on and you should be able to salvage it. But if it starts to rip, be careful, because if you start to rip on one end, you can always go find another end or another corner and start peeling from there. And when you make it to that other side, you may be able to just fix your mistake or prevent it from getting worse. Okay, so now all 30 are done. And so we'll start with the first. And so what I do is I'll shovel it in here. Shovel it in. When I first started doing this, I used spoons. Then, thought later on this would be a good idea. So I invested. I don't bake cakes really. But this is only used for when I'm making lumpia, so it works out very well. What you get is pipe it on down. You want to get it right down here. So what we'll do is, we're sitting at an angle like this, I'll just pipe it in the lower section here. Pipe a line across, like so. Boom. Then I will take it. I will fold up one here, come across, and roll. So I also really enjoy cheese lumpia too, and it's very simple. You just get you a favorite type of more of a softer type cheese. Like in the Philippines, they use an Edam cheese. It's a white processed cheese, almost like our Velveeta in the States, but it has a different taste. But the consistency and the texture is about the same. But when I was in Europe, I used to use a cheese called Buttercase, and it worked out very well. Really good taste. So you really just pick the cheese you like, and the rolling is just like you would do with any type of lumpia do. I typically use pork. You can do beef, and you get chicken. So I typically do pork, the traditional pork lumpia. So once you have it rolled up, you just get you a little dab of water, put on the end here, and just continue to roll, and it'll seal. And now you got it. Once we're done, we just put them in a bowl or in our container to sit, and then we'll fry those up later. Okay, so I'm done wrapping the lumpia. I've wrapped 30 with the 1 pound, roughly 1 pound of pork that I had. So with that, so since it's just going to be a few of us for Thanksgiving, I only bought the 1 pack of wrappers for the lumpia. So since I didn't use a whole lot because it's a thin layer that's placed in there. So I put too thick of a layer of pork in there when I go to fry it, because it is raw. Then the outside would get really crisp before the inside actually cooked. But I want to make sure that pork on the inside is thoroughly cooked. So I typically cook it at about, it's right around 350 degrees, and canola oil is what I use, but pick your various high burning temp oil, and go at it. So typically cook them until they're nice and golden on the outside, and they're totally done on the inside with doing that. But with that, I had some pork left over, the filling left over. So what I did was I just made some meatballs that I'll probably put in the pan with some hot butter and sear them pretty well, and I'll bake them in the oven for a little while. So we'll have some meatballs later on. So with that, I won't be cooking these tonight. They'll be going in the refrigerator covered nicely so they don't dry out. They'll be covered in the fridge until we begin to cook tomorrow for our Thanksgiving here. Thank you for watching. Just like I said, it's my first video, so I do enjoy cooking. That's why I decided to make the video, and I hope to make more. And I hope you enjoy watching. And if you want to try to make this lumpia, go for it. And like I said, I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day.